Hey, Pablo, this is Butterfly Jones calling from beautiful Key West, Florida. Longtime listener, first time caller. And I was hoping you could find out who writes the beautiful, the incredible tweets by Magic Johnson. They are so amazingly earnest, but they read like GPT negative 3.5 combined with the enthusiasm of my great Aunt Patty. They are spectacular, and I want to know who's behind them. Thanks, Pablo.
There's nobody in the Twitter sphere who I'd want to know more who's behind that account than Magic Johnson.
Yes.
Number one for me.
It's an active mystery. And so, of course, we had to get to Magic Johnson, which is, it turns out, kind of difficult.
But you remember you've met him before, right? Like I was there for that.
I've interviewed him at Sports Illustrated a couple times, actually.
No, I know you're a journalist. Thank you for reminding that. I know back in the day you did journalism.
Reported stories,
right?
Quoting him.
Back when you and I did High Noon on ESPN at the Seaport office at ESPN, there was a day, if you remember, I believe it's 2019.
I don't think it's that helpful to relive this.
No, it is. It is, dude. Magic Johnson came to the office, and it was embarrassing what you did.
Y'all shoot here too?
Yeah.
Okay. So you had to move, both of you, because you were in North Carolina.
I was in North Carolina and
Miami. Yeah. So congrats then.
Well, trying to be like you, man. You're the best TV star in this building today.
TV star. A businessman now. Just business.
You have the suit of a businessman.
Well, I got to run my business. Matter of fact, I'm running to a meeting after this.
Absolutely, man.
God bless you.
Hey, yes, take care.
I'm cringing so hard that I'm like becoming smaller.
So some background. I'm filming that, obviously, and the reason that it's clipped off in that manner sort of abruptly is I was furiously trying to get my phone out because you're sprinting to hop over a couch to go say hello to Magic Johnson. The video picks up with the first words of you saying to him, after having climbed the couch to dap him, "We can see eye to eye," as if you're like marveling at, yes, dude, you stepped on a couch. Of course you can see eye to eye.
I stood on a couch like Tom Cruise being interviewed by Oprah.
Are you embarrassed?
Of course. I mean,
okay.
The visuals on this are great, admittedly. Like, there's the dap I delivered.
Was it worth it? You got the clout of like, hey, I dapped him up.
Yeah, but it's
not worth it.
There's like a leg kick. I like sort of like wound up because I cared about the dap so much that I kicked my leg out like a pitcher. So what's sad now, even sadder now to me, is that despite that clear connection that me and Magic made,
right,
from atop that couch, when I reached out to Magic Johnson's people, because of course he's a businessman with many people, to go to the front door on this topic, we were told the following, okay? Quote, "Thank you for reaching out. Unfortunately, Mr. Johnson respectfully declines to participate. He is elected not to discuss the behind the scenes of his social strategy." End quote. That was from the vice president of Magic Johnson Enterprises, Alexia Grievous Henderson. But I was energized. And so what I did was I reached out to a different Hollywood power broker, an actor in this case, that I know has also been obsessed with this now official mystery, by the way.
Okay.
What do they have to hide? And so, yeah, I called up Rob Lowe. So, Rob Lowe, what was the first memory you have of meeting Magic Johnson?
We met because we were both basically the same age, from the Midwest. He's from Michigan. I'm from Ohio. We're in Los Angeles. We're young. We're having success, and we're on each other's radar. And so that was obviously the initial commonality. But then over the years, I got to know him as a man, and it was really through amount of time spent in and around the Lakers and the Laker organization, traveling on the road, on the team plane. Riley, at one point banned me from staying in the same hotel because...
Wait, why? Why were you banned by Pat Riley?
Well, because it was the 80s and I was single. And
you were a bad influence, Rob Lowe. That's why you were banned.
I was a very bad influence on the Lakers. I mean, well, Lakers love me. Riley, not so much. And it was during those years. It was during the format where it was like 2-3-2.
Yeah.
So you'd be in Detroit forever. Three games in Detroit. You're like, there's not a lot to do out by the Pontiac Silverdome. So you can do the math. And Riley was not a fan of that.
No, understandably. Magic Johnson, by the way, was just named one of the 4 current or former athletes to ever become a billionaire, right? So it's him, LeBron, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods. That was this week. But inside of that larger context is this ongoing fascination that many people have around his Twitter account.
Yes.
And I think you know this. You've been on Pardon My Take talking to them about it. But you're like the foremost source. You have advanced the ball more than any other human being on the question of like, what is up with Magic Johnson's Twitter account? And you take pride in this, I imagine, at this point. You're laughing at me asking this.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I have it on very good authority.
Yes.
That he dictates it. He has somebody who whatever occurs to him, and with the emphasis on whatever occurs to him, it's the best. I mean, that's what Twitter was made for him. Made.
Exactly.
But I'll ask Magic next time I see him. I'm going to say, the world wants to know.
Yes.
Are you seated in a big smoking chair? Are you doing it in a walk and talk? Is there a fleet? Because you're a billionaire now. So I'm assuming it's a fleet of people, not just one person, who's instantly, putting it in on their phone. And if it's on their phone, how does that get onto your Twitter? Like, the world needs to know.
Yes, I imagine like a nuclear football level of chain of custody here.
My favorite is always like, we've got to do better when the Lakers are getting blown out. You know what I mean? You're like, I love that.
His catchphrases are stuff like, quote, "Tonight we learned the world champion Denver Nuggets are going to be very tough to beat in the NBA playoffs, period." Quote, "We're all disappointed that our Dodgers didn't hit or pitch well. That's why we lost the series to the Diamondbacks." Exclamation point. Which is, and the exclamation points, Rob, are notable because for him, on the Magic Johnson emotional curve, that thing is Martin Luther nailing the 95 Theses to the door.
When I was on the West Wing, Aaron Sorkin will not use an exclamation point. Ever.
Oh, wow.
It could literally, he could, in the script, it could say, "President Bartland is shot." No exclamation point. No, he does not believe in them. His theory with exclamation points is that it's the hackiest, sweatiest thing that you can do to make something sound exciting that probably isn't. I happen to disagree with it. I think an exclamation point, there's absolutely a place to, they're overused for sure, but I don't go the other way where it's like you don't use them. I mean, to me, that's a bridge too far.
On the scale of writing sensibility, on one end is Magic Johnson. On the other end is Aaron Sorkin.
And you're not going to confuse their Twitter accounts. You're just not going to.
Yes.
By the way, are they preloaded?
Right.
Listen, there's a world where what was preloaded wasn't... Give me the quote about why the Dodgers lost. Give it to me again.
"We're all disappointed that our Dodgers didn't hit or pitch well. That's why we lost the series to the Diamondbacks. Exclamation point."
Okay, so that's preloaded. Also preloaded is, how about that Dodger pitching and hitting? And that is why we swept the Diamondbacks.
So you have the potential world in which Magic Johnson is a man for all seasons and outcomes. He is ready with a Magic Johnsonism no matter the event and its results.
Of course he is. That's why he's a billionaire. Of course he's ready for every eventuality. It's like abstract art. It really is. It's where you go, I'm pretty sure my kindergartner could have painted that. And yet, your kindergartner didn't paint it.
No. Jackson Pollock painted this.
Jackson Pollock painted it. He's no kindergartner. And you know what else is a little bit in there? And this is, we have a mutual friend, Alan Yang, who wrote on the show that I did, Parks and Recreation.
Yep.
And one of my favorite characters on Parks and Recreation has a little bit of Irvin's Twitter in him, and that is Purred Hapley.
Yes. Oh my God, dude. I had never connected this, but 100 million percent.
100%. Magic's Twitter account has a little bit of Purred Hapley in it.
For a female perspective on this scandal, we turn to a woman, Leslie Knope. I'm about to ask you a question right now, and that question is this. The lewd photo, just how big a deal is it?
Well, frankly, Pert, it's not that big a deal, if you know what I mean.
I don't know what you mean, but it had the cadence of a joke.
I'm Irvin Johnson, and I love to play basketball. It's hard work, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of things, but when the ball goes through that net, the team gets 2 points.
Is there a person who is better at being rich than Magic Johnson?
Oh.
And I see Elon Musk as, of course, fantastically accomplished, wildly wealthy, real life Tony Stark, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
On top of the culture war shit.
Yeah.
But the point being, I watch him on Twitter and I'm like, oh, that's a man whose brain has been eaten by the internet. It seems like he is doing Twitter, the product he bought for $44 billion, incorrectly. And then, in contrast, again, on this scale of extremes, I see Magic Johnson. And I'm like, that guy seems happy.
He is happy. For sure. One of the things I love so much about Irvin/Magic is their outlook on life. And it's not a pose. It's not an image. It really is, who he is. And that sort of like guileless, enthusiastic, straightforward, no bullshit. And I don't want to say childlike because that has a connection that it's somehow unsophisticated or not smart. And I'm not saying that.
But there is a purity, though.
A purity, yeah. It's a purity about it. And, you read LeBron James's thing and you get, he's always trying to be Nelson Mandela.
Right.
And Magic/Irving is just being himself.
This is maybe the thing about his Twitter account is that it's so authentically his voice that you wonder, like, is it just a performance because it's so consistent? And then you're like, well, why am I being cynical about this?
It's a gift. Just accept the gift. Just accept the gift. It's one of the few, by the way, it might be the only joy left on Twitter.
Absolutely. Rob, absolutely. The only joy I have left is Magic Johnson on July 17th of this summer posting on Twitter, quote, Positano, Italy is so beautiful and they grow the biggest lemons I've ever seen in my life, exclamation point.
It just puts a smile on your face.
We're both grinning in a very sincere way because without even showing you the tweet, you know that Magic Johnson in both hands is double fisting giant Italian lemons.
Giant.
And they're so big.
Giant lemons.
There's the question of like, when the aliens come, who do we want to nominate as our like gladiator on behalf of Earth? And people are always like, it's clearly LeBron James. And I'm like, if we want to...
Who's nominating him? Who? Oh, wait, what?
The greatest physical specimen that Earth has to offer.
Oh, I see.
In competition. Because we assume, this is the thing, Rob.
All right,
this is the thing. But people assume that we're going to want to go to war with the aliens. And meanwhile, what you and I are on the same wavelength about, I think, is that if we want to like diplomatically figure some stuff out, I want Irvin Magic Johnson with two giant lemons approaching.
Here's my pitch on Irvin's tweet post meeting the aliens. Okay. Met with the aliens, period. They are not what I expected, exclamation mark.
That's it. You nailed it.
Isn't that it?
I can't improve on that. And there would be a photo of Magic Johnson grinning ear to ear, hand over shoulder with a fucking alien.
With a gray. With like the gray can barely be in the photo because the grays are like 2.5 feet tall. You should do it. I'm sure you must do a parlor trick game where you have three quotes. And two of them are fake Magic Johnson and one of them's real. You have to do that, I'm sure.
Absolutely. We're going to find some Perd Hapley best ofs. And that could be the game.
Which
honestly,
was
Perd Hapley or Magic Johnson. I mean, that's a board game.
Oh, that's really good. Okay, let's do this. Let's get Sher Yang, you and me on the pod like this and play it.
Done.
I'm in.
Rob Lowe, on that note, all I have to say to you is, in the words of Magic Johnson, thank you, exclamation point.
Thanks, man. That was fun.
I knew the name Rob Lowe going into the video, but like I didn't know
Cortez.
who he was. I didn't know who he was. I'm young. What do you want me to do?
Please tell me you appreciated what just happened there.
I got lost watching it because there was a moment where I said, "Oh, I know who that is. I recognized him."
The West Wing,
No,
Parks and Rec,
No, Parks
The
and Rec
Outsiders,
sucks.
great movie.
No, Austin Powers, bro. The eye patch. I remember him. Young number 2.
I just want our new friend of the show, Rob Lowe, to know that I understand his oeuvre, even though Ryan Cortez. By the way, you also like discovered rock and roll as a concept.
Shout out to
over
Nirvana.
the pandemic. Nirvana, bro. So this is all. This is a love language, Cortez.
Sure.
But I did also want to be fair to any skeptics out there who wanted like the actual answer to the question our great listener left, right? Because we know now that it's Magic Johnson dictating the tweets. We know it's his voice incontrovertibly. But in terms of the person who is physically writing them, who is writing this account, there was even more digging that I had to do.
Okay, what'd you find out?
So they wanted to keep all of this a secret, obviously, the social media strategy. But I did all of these, I truly investigated this. I did all of these interviews on background. I got to somebody who was in the room, actually, while it was happening. Magic Johnson with this mystery person posting to the account. And what I was told, okay, the person who physically posts for Magic Johnson was none other than Alexia Grievous Henderson herself.
That's the name from the email, right?
That is the person who emailed us saying that they elect not to discuss the social media strategy is the person behind the social media strategy.
I'm proud of you, man. Like that's actual journalism. You did it again. Good reporting by you.
We got to the bottom of just, the greatest rich person's
Should she
Twitter
get raised,
account.
you think?
If she wants to maybe help put me in touch with Magic so I can dap him up on like sea level, maybe we can work out a recommendation, a public endorsement from Pablo Torre Finds Out.